In the 1930s, the political situation was heating up across both Europe and the Pacific region. Great Britain, the United States, Germany, and many other nations were investing heavily into domestic aircraft development programs. Meanwhile, Australia was lagging behind, and being so far away from aviation leaders wasn't helpful. The nation had no domestic aircraft production whatsoever and relied entirely on imports. At the time, Japan's militarization efforts were getting more and more obvious. The problem was worsened by the fact that all major aircraft producers were at capacity, making imports problematic. Australia was facing a hard challenge. It had to train new specialists, build new manufacturing facilities, and establish domestic production of combat aircraft, all as fast as possible. Couple that with the fact that the nation had no prior experience in any of that, and you get a truly ambitious project. While a new factory was being built, a group of Australian Air Force officers evaluated a few options for their future production aircraft. The plane had to be suitable for pilot training, had to perform as both a fighter and a ground strike aircraft, and, most importantly, its design had to be simple for quicker adoption by the new production lines. Having looked at some European and US models, Australians picked the NA-16 trainer made by North American. It offered simple handling and an uncomplicated design, which made it a perfect choice for a nation that wanted to kickstart its domestic production. By 1937, Australia purchased the required license, and in only 2 years, the skies welcomed the Wirraway, a modified copy of the NA-16. The Australian version was meant for both training and combat, boasting a more powerful engine, hardpoints for bombs, and a more robust fuselage. A new gunner seat was added to protect the plane from the rear, and the front received an extra machine gun. The Wirraway saw its first ever combat deployment very soon after the war broke out, when Japanese aircraft attacked Rabaul in Papua New Guinea. The plane was frankly inferior in air combat. Being quite slow and lightly armed, it couldn't compete with Japanese fighters. Only a single aerial victory was claimed throughout the entire war. The Wirraway was rather good as an attack aircraft, though, and pilots were mostly satisfied with it. Another commendable trait was versatility. In addition to combat missions, it could do reconnaissance, supply, and transportation missions for high-ranking officials. The plane was still in service in late 1943, but it was mostly removed from the front lines. The more modern Boomerang replaced it, a new and improved design based on the experience of producing and employing the Wirraway. After the war, the first ever Australian plane served some time as a combat trainer. There was even an attempt to adapt a few units for agricultural needs, but by the end of the 1950s, all remaining aircraft had become obsolete and had to be retired. The Wirraway was never a terror in the skies, but it's hard to underestimate its meaning for Australian aviation. It was the foundation of an entirely new industry, proving that Australia could achieve impressive results even with limited resources and time.